Stadium for the 77th meeting between the San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams. A very, very hot afternoon at Anaheim Stadium as it is sold out.
Reasons. One, this is a great place to play. They don't have any wind. They have a great field. But even more important than that, maybe the Ram defense. The Rams had been one of those conservative defense, three-man line. They didn't pressure much. One of those bend but don't break.
Anaheim Stadium, the Rams have won the toss. They'll receive the opening kickoff, and we'll be just waiting for what Montana does to handle that defense. Mike Kofer will kick off for San Francisco. Back deep for the Rams, Gaston Green, and I think Robert DiPino will go back with him. Bright sunny day. It's Gaston Green and Robert Del Pino back. Del Pino 39. What a great day it is in Southern California. Kofer's kick will be handled by Gaston Green at the 2. Cut down at about the 17. A return of 15. Harry Sidney was down to make the stop. Jim Everett's the quarterback of the Rams, having a sensational year. He'll be looking at this defensive lineup for San Francisco. Larry Roberts and Kevin Fagan, the ends. Michael Carter, the nose tackle. Haley, Ellison, Mike Walter, and Keena Turner, the linebacker. Secondary has McKyer and Griffin, Ronnie Lott and Jeff Fuller. Flag on the play, and they'll bring it back and kick it again. Jerry Seaman, the referee.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about the 49ers and Joe Montana's success here. He's 6-0. His quarterback rating in those games, Pat, is 118. You know, that's super. I mean, that's if you look at that 118.2, you know, if you get to 100, that's close to being perfect. When you get to 118 down here, you have to believe there's something in the water.
14 touchdowns and just 2 interceptions by Montana.
I think that would make you think in the offseason, hey, we better get a new defense. Let's go to that old eagle.
From the 30-yard line this time, and the Rams will field it. Green will at about the 11. So they pick up about 5 yards. Just the length of the penalty. Now the Rams offense, led by Jim Everett. Greg Bell, the NFL's NFC's leading rusher. Buford McGee starts with him. Aaron Cox and Henry Ellard, the wide receivers. Damone Johnson at tight end. One of the best offensive lines in football. Hankey, Newberry, Doug Smith, Duval Love, and Jackie Slater. 1st and 10 Rams from their own 22. Best in the NFL, that record. First down. Del Pino out of the backfield. Gain of 3, stopped by Eric Wright. Wright, I believe, is starting instead of Don Griffin now. That would be at the right corner. Second and 7. Buford McGee and Greg Bell behind Everett. To Bell. Straight ahead, just shy of the 30. A gain of 3 more. Charles Haley on the stop, the first to hit him.
You know, the Rams have an interesting offense, Pat, in that they have 3 guys that play one position. Buford McGee starts as a fullback, and he's the kind of the blocker for Greg Bell. And then when they go to 2 tight ends, they put in Pete Holohan, and he becomes the H-back, but he's still the fullback. Then if they want a receiver, they put in Robert Del Pino, as they did on the first down play.
Now they've got Holohan. He goes in motion. He's tough on 3rd down. Somebody hit Holohan as he tried to cut across the middle. Knocked him down. It was Jeff Fuller, I think.
You know, when the Rams get to third down and less than 5, they're going to go to Holohan. That's the guy they're looking for. Now, the 49ers know that. By now, they say, baloney. There was Ronnie Lott. He was sitting right in there. He knew Holohan was coming in the middle to pick up that first down, and Ronnie Lott just sat in there and waited for him.
Rich Camarillo to punt for the Rams, and John Taylor deep for San Francisco. Good kick. At the 24 is Taylor. With the good speed. He had a wall set up and the ball is loose. '49ers ball.
See that? The Rams said one way. Del Pino has the football. He thinks that they got it. The officials signaled the other way.
Now they've changed it.
Now they're going with Del Pino. They said, you're right. What a big play that would have been for John Taylor. If he gets by this tackle right here, as you said, Pat, he really has the wall. But he gets tackled there. The ground didn't cause that fumble. That ball bounced out of Taylor's grasp before he hit the ground.
Well, the Rams have been very successful in scoring after turnovers. 62 points, the best in the NFL.
I'm sure that's one that's going to go to replay now. See that the officials are looking at that, but I don't think there's anything. See the fumble, watch, you see it's out now, so it's a legal fumble. Now the only thing they can be looking at is who has it. You see Del Pino was the guy who came flying in there. He has it right now. You see him 39 down there? So if they're looking at that, I think everything looks pretty good to me in favor of the Rams.
After further review of instant replay, the play stands. Rams ball first down.
Good game in Indianapolis. The Colts improved their record to 2-5, same as Tampa Bay. Those of you watched that, the Rams have just recovered a 49er fumble. It's 1st and 10 from the 49er 25. Bell gets to about the 24. Charles Haley again from the backside.
You know, this Greg Bell has sure been an interesting story. Remember a year ago, we were down here the day that the Rams traded Eric Dickerson, and they got this Bell guy, and everyone was saying, who's Bell? They got him from Buffalo. What's he going to do? And it was, well, he's just kind of a throw-in guy, nothing. Bell came in here and said, I'm going to take Eric Dickerson's place. Everyone goes, oh, Charles White's taking his place. White gets sat down for 30 days, and Greg Bell's leading the league.
Throwback screen is set up pretty well. That'll be enough for a Rams first down to Damone Johnson. Ronnie Lott tripped it. You've seen that play for quite a while.
Well, you know, that's an old Ernie Zampese play. I saw him practice it yesterday, and I said to Ernie, are you still running that play? See, they fake the run. The quarterback bootlegs out to the right. Then he stops and throws a screen back to the tight end. Most screen passes where you get the offensive lineman out in front of the receiver are thrown to backs. Ernie says, yeah, he said he's been running it for 9 years, and he said about once a month it works.
No longer are their unbeaten team. New England beats Cincinnati. Bell, right side for tough couple. And the ball must be loose, and the 49ers got the ball back. Ronnie Lott made the recovery.
That's what a great defense does. When you have something bad happen to you and you have a turnover, your defense, instead of saying, ah, the heck with it, look what happened to us, they go in and they get it back. Watch him here. Good defense. That's solid play. Ricky Ellison coming in there, making the hit. Ronnie Lott, 42, coming in and getting the fumble recovery. Watch, Michael Walter hits him here. Now the next guy in is going to be Ricky Ellison. And as he comes right there, looks like the ball pops out. and then Ronnie Lott is the next guy up, and he recovers it.
So Joe Montana facing that Ram defense, and they put some heat on him right away. Down goes the ball, down goes Montana. Art Giroux and Kevin Green were the first two to hit him. The defensive line, Doug Reed, Alvin Wright, the nose tackle, and Sean Miller. Kevin Green, Eckern, Giroux, and Wilshire. 49ers don't want them to change defense. They want to keep them in that regular. Roger Craig. Craig hammers outside for 29. Vince Newsom and Leroy Irvin made the stop. He got 15 yards.
Bill Walsh was saying last night, Pat, as you said, that he would like to go no huddle some so that the Rams can't get their substitutes in. They can't get that Eagle defense in, and they can't get the nickel in. And he's going to do two things to him. One is formation, give him some free wide receivers that might keep him out of it. And two is go with some no huddle so they can't get those guys in.
Craig almost breaks into the secondary again. Sean Miller had his foot. Montana, Craig, Tom Rathman, Jerry Rice, Mike Wilson, Ron Heller. Those are the receivers, the ball handler. That's the offensive line. Again, they don't huddle. They got a push up the middle. Hammered Montana backwards. Alvin Wright, what a rush he put on from the nose tackle spot.
Maybe they should have let those guys huddle up, because watch right here. We're going to see Wright just come straight up the middle, take Randy across the center and put him back and take the whole bunch right back there. Maybe they would have been better off had they let Giroux be the nose tackle. Alvin Wright just gave what they call a bull rush.
He just clubbed Montana beside the head and knocked him down.
Well, that was the end of a bull rush. That was a bull hit.
3rd and 15. Three wide receivers. Wilson, Rice, and Taylor. Wilson had it and dropped it. But they're saying it was an incomplete pass. Johnny Johnson picked up the ball, but just incomplete. Perfect shot from Montana. Flag on the play.
And one thing Joe Montana is a master at, you're going to give him a rush, he'll get the ball away quicker than you can rush to get him.
If I can read lips correctly, Gary Jeter was the man who was offside. 3rd and 10.
Well, the Rams also have another package called a nickel package. They're in that now. 2 defensive linemen, and then the 2 linebackers on the outside of Kevin Green and Wilshire. They're rushing him.
Right through Jerry Rice's hand. Another flag on the play. Defensive holding against Los Angeles. Chicago beat Dallas 17-7 to move their record to 6-1. Those of you who watched that, welcome to Anaheim Stadium, where the score is 0-0 with 9:37 left to play in the first quarter. Pat Summerall, John Madden here. Had 2 turnovers, one by each team so far. The Rams recovered a fumbled punt. And then Greg Bell fumbled as the Rams were down inside the 49er 20. And they recovered. Penalty gets them a first down. 2 tight ends. Here's Roger Craig. Craig gets across midfield before he's knocked out of bounds by Irvin.
Yeah, that was that counter play. Harris Barton, the second-year right tackle for the 49ers, really pulls and makes a good block. Watch your right tackle. They're going to pull the guard and tackle. Watch Barton. He makes a block right here that clears the hole for Craig. Now, what you do is the back starts that way. Now he gets in behind the big right tackle. You see him right there? Whap! He knocks his guy down. Craig runs right around that block and picks up another 7 yards.
They go with no huddle again. Montana gets it out to his tight end, Ron Hiller. The Giants beat Detroit 30-10. That's the final now. Those of you who watched the Giants improve their record to 4-3, welcome to Anaheim. 0-0 here. We're at the home of the Rams with 9:07 left to play in the first quarter. 2nd and 10. 49ers have the ball at the Ram 48. Montana changes his formation. Back to throw. Finally finds Tom Rathman out of the backfield. Pickup of 6. Mark Giroux on the stop.
It's an interesting thing, Pat. We talk about the Eagle, and now you see the Eagle, Mike Giroux, the linebacker, gets up here. Now, if he stays there, that's an Eagle. If he backs out and plays as a pass defender, it's Hawk. You see him? He fakes the Eagle like he's going to rush as a nose tackle, backs out. Now the Rams don't have to play man-to-man. When he does that, they can play zone.
3rd and 4. Wilson and Taylor split wide left. Montana screen pass to Craig. Fumble. Craig got it back. Johnny Johnson with the hit that knocked the ball loose. Fred Strickland with an assist. Browns beat the Eagles. Houston over Pittsburgh convincingly. Johnny Johnson and Mickey Sutton back to receive the kick for the Rams. Barry Helton will do the punting for San Francisco for the sideline. And he got it out of bounds about the 15, it would appear. 34-yard punt.
Look at John Robinson. As you said, it's hot down there, Pat. And I think there's something else that makes it hot down there. This really is a rivalry game. And John Robinson knows that this is something, if they're going to win the division, they have to be able to compete and beat the 49ers here. And I think maybe that's why the game starts off, it looks a little sloppy. You have turnovers, and then you have penalties and giving them first down and stuff. It's not that they're sloppy because they're bored. I think it's a little sloppy because both these teams are maybe too fired up early.
Charles White has replaced Greg Bell. To Henry Allard. At about the 20, a pickup of 9. Jeff Fuller on the stop.
It was funny, John Robinson was telling us yesterday that Charles White really isn't ready to play yet because he said he needs his legs. He gets his running strength from his legs, and he said they aren't ready to play yet, but he is ready to do one thing, and that's pass protect. So I think when we see Charles White in there, it's going to be a passing down, not to him, but with him as a blocker.
So it's Bell back in place of White. He's the lone setback. Bell hit behind the line, no gain. Kevin Fagan. Charles Haley is the man who's down. Word on Ricky Ellison, too, is that he has a bruised shoulder. It's questionable whether or not he'll return.
You know, Charles Haley is one of the most valuable players on this 49er defense because he's kind of their designated pass rusher. He goes right or left side, usually the weak side. And just watching tapes and watching the 49ers play, he's the guy that tends to put the pressure on. You see him coming from the left side of the screen. He'll go to the weak side of the side away from the tight end. And he has that great speed to not only catch a run from behind, but to press the pressure on the quarterback. It looks like here he gets hit by his own man. In fact, he did. He got whacked. He was coming one way. The other linebacker coming from the other side.
He's been banged up a little already. Bill Walsh was saying he's so much more effective this year than last because he had lost about 15 pounds.
Well, you know, last year he was a defensive lineman, and he lost that weight this year to play linebacker, and now he's really playing defensive line again. But as you say, Bill Walsh feels that he's a lot better because of that. He's one of those players from James Madison. You know, Gary Clark is from James Madison, and you get a guy like Charles Haley. James Madison must have been pretty good.
Bell trying to get the first down. He may not have gotten it. He got close. Mike Walter was the first 49er to hit him. I don't think he got it. Washington beat Phoenix. Improved their record to 4-3 and a tie for first place. 3 teams tied for first in the NFC East. Welcome to Anaheim Stadium, the home of the Rams. We're still in the first quarter. 0-0 the score. Neither team able to get too much going on offenses yet. John Taylor backs deep for San Francisco. Rich Camarillo the punt for the Rams. Fair catch. .5:28 left to play in the first quarter here. The score is 0-0. 49ers will have the ball at their own 41 when we come back. San Francisco 0, Los Angeles 0. I think those... Well, at least the things they're wearing are real.
I don't know if they're real or not. They sure look stupid, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, how can a guy get dressed like that to go to a game? You know, what do you say? I think I'll put on my watermelon head and sunglasses so I can go to the game and look stupid. Huh?
I can't really give you a reason.
Yeah, that happens.
Montana to Rice. First down, San Francisco. Green Bay 34, Minnesota 14. I think you'd have to call that an upset. Packers coming on, scoring a lot of points. Welcome to Anaheim Stadium. 0-0, San Francisco and the Rams. 5:05 left to play. Pat Summerall here with John Madden.
Yeah, I've always said, that Green Bay score, I've always said donuts work. You know, you get some sinkers in there and they give those guys a little extra weight.
Roger Craig still on his feet, still running. What a run by Roger Craig. You'll never see a better one than that. From 46 yards. That's going to be in a lot of highlights for a long time. What an effort by Roger Craig.
John Robinson was just saying yesterday he thinks right now Roger Craig is the best running back in the league. I can see why. You know, he has that thing of getting those knees high and keeping the shoulders low. And he makes every team look like they're bad tacklers. Watch the way he gets that high knee action, keeps those feet going like two pistons. Then at the same time that the knees are going high and keeping going, the shoulder can get low to take on a tackler. I tell you, that is an amazing ability that this guy has.
He ran over at least 5 tacklers on that run. You'll never see a better one.
And you never see a guy that enjoys playing football more than this guy. You talk about guys that love to play, that's Roger Craig.
He smiles almost all the time.
When you look for the champions of the NFL, you look to CBS Sports.
Roger Craig. He needs some oxygen. Pretty good average. And the guy that got the key block really was Guy McIntyre. And he told us last night he liked to see him in the game.
Yeah, he says he smothers them. And he said, when I can run behind McIntyre, he said, I feel that every time I do it, I'm going to gain 10 to 12 yards. Pretty good average.
Hofer to Green. At the goal line. Almost. Out to the 40. Knocked out by Sidney.
You know, the interesting thing, Pat, it was first down. Now the Rams are in their nickel. Look, they got 3 here, 2 here, because the 49ers have 3 wide receivers. Spread them out. Now here's Guy McIntyre. Watch him come, boom, trap right here. The center block's back here. Craig hits it straight up the middle. But it was first down. Rams in nickel to rush the passer. Boom, that trap hit it. And then that's all you have to do is give this guy a little opening, let him get into that secondary, and let those guys try and tackle.
Boy. Greg Bell, Holohan in motion. Everett on first down. Incomplete, intended for Aaron Cox. Jeff Fuller was the nearest 49er.
Yeah, we talked earlier, Pat, how Bill Walsh was going to try and mix up the Ram defense with no huddle and with using 3 wide receivers. He used it on first down. Now, when he went to 3 wide receivers, the Rams thought he was going to pass. So they went to pass rush, and boom, he hit that trap on him.
And there was some confusion in the secondary as well. From Everett. Moving to 49er territory. Stopped by Tim McKyer and Eric Wright.
Here's a guy that's having a big year for the Rams, Henry Ellard. You know, you hear all about Jerry Rice. Coming into this game, Ellard and Rice had the same number of receptions. And we were talking to Jim Everett yesterday. He thought that Henry Ellard would have a big day today.
His opinion was they have to start double covering it.
I think what he would like to do is he would like to work Ellard against Eric Wright.
Charles White in the block. Everett got somebody. Touchdown, Aaron Cox. Shot.
It's a great move on Tim McKyer. He gave him a little stop and go. McKyer is an aggressive corner, number 22. And he'll be out here on the left side of the screen. He goes for the fake. You see that pump fake? He stopped, and then Cox was able to run right by him.
Mike Lansford with Pete Holohan holding. Well, whatever nervousness the 2 teams had early in the game has disappeared. Lansford set to kick it off. John Taylor and Doug Dubose back deep for the 49ers. 7-7 with 3:33 left in the first quarter.
Up here. Here's Tim McKyer. And as he comes up, he gives him a little stutter and stop. McKyer takes it, and that's where Aaron Cox gets beyond him. Watch him here. He's driving him off. Right in there. You see the little stutter step? McKyer looks back, and that's just enough to let Aaron Cox get those 2 steps on him. Jim Everett throws a perfect pass.
And it's 7-0. Montana will direct the 49er offense now. Is 4 out of 4. for only 16 yards, however. That was the Eagle defense. And from time to time during the afternoon, we'll try to show you the differences between those variations that the Rams show you.
The interesting thing, when they go to the Eagle, their inside linebacker, number 59, Mark Giroux, plays as a nose tackle. He's a second-year guy from the University of Washington, where he was a nose tackle.
Referee's mic in the stadium is not working. It's not us. Referee Jerry Seaman.
The Rams have made all these changes again, and Giroux can be a linebacker or he can be up as a nose tackle. And when he becomes a nose tackle, then they have 5 linebackers. Any one of them can be coming. Now, this whole concept is just to get pressure and confusion on the offense.
And it worked. Giroux backed out, then came back up. Dr. Craig, the ball carrier.
Well, you know what happened here? The 49ers are going without a huddle now, and that's one of the things they want to do against it.
2nd and 5. Now they change their defense. Montana can't find anybody. Gets far enough, however, for a first down. Mark Giroux stopped it. Redskins beat Phoenix. Rippon had another good day. The Giants over Detroit after being behind early. Cleveland 19-3 over Philadelphia. They sacked Randall Cunningham 9 times. New England beat Cincinnati, so there are no undefeated teams now. And Houston over Pittsburgh. 1st and 10 49ers at their own 31. Incomplete to Craig.
Pat, here we see the Eagle again. There is Giroux up there as a nose tackle. Now, if he is going to come and the 2 outside guys come, then they have to play man-to-man coverage. But he can get up there as he is now, and he just ties up the center. Then they get their big pass rush from the outside guys, Mel Owens and Mike Wilcher.
For Rice. Flag on the play. Jerry Gray running with Jerry Rice. Rice very slow getting up.
Looks like right at the end, Jerry Gray gets a face mask. Of course, Jerry Rice could be the best wide receiver, the most dangerous wide receiver in the NFL. Gray knows all day that he has to be watching out for him. He had pretty good coverage. Then he got that grab right there at the end.
Jerry Rice has to head for the sideline. But he might have hurt his right leg in some way. Mike Wilcher, by the way, the Ram linebacker, has been taken to the locker room, presumably for x-rays.
He's the guy that has really been one of the big pressure guys there. We see Brett Ferrignard playing now, but Mike Wilcher had really been doing a great job for this Ram defense on one side, and Kevin Green, the leading sacker in the league, from the other side.
Here's Rathman this time. Inside the 25, a pickup of 2. Here's Jim Everett. I think that's just for cooling off purposes.
Well, as you say, it really is warm down there on the field, and that's the quickest way to get your body temperature back to normal is ice on the neck. So I think we're going to see a lot of guys down there on both sides of the field with that old ice on the neck trick.
Wilson and Taylor split wide to the left. Heller, the tight end, tight on the right. Outside to Wilson. John Taylor, sorry. Pick up a 13.
It was an interesting play, Pat. He got Tom Rathman as fullback out there to make a screen, but he made a great block out there. What they do is they take their fullback out. Now he's going to come out to the left and be like a lead blocker. We'll see it right there at the end. You see the block right there? That was a block by Rathman on Leroy Irvin that let John Taylor get free on that play. Of course, you can't make that block before he catches the ball.
Craig for only a yard. Stopped by Ferriñez.
John Robinson has done a great job with this Ram team. You know, we talk about the defense and the changes they made to compete, but they've also made a lot on offense. And we've already seen one in Aaron Cox making that touchdown, and he knew that he wasn't good enough. He lost Eric Dickerson. He had to do something, and he's done a lot. I mean, on both sides of the ball, and I'll tell you, he has made this Ram team back into a very competitive team.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score. San Francisco 7, the Los Angeles Rams 7. At Anaheim Stadium between the 49ers and the Rams. Next Saturday, CBS Sports presents the America's Cadillac Polo Championship. All-star team from the United States takes on perennial world champion and Power Argentina. Jim Nance and Tom Goes call the action from the Greenwich Polo Club in Greenwich, Connecticut. That's next Saturday at 1:30 Eastern and 3 Pacific. Here on CBS Sports. 2nd and 9 for the 49ers from the Ram 10.
You know, Pat, this is an area the 49ers are having trouble in. They've been able to move the ball up and down the field. As you see here, the last 7 times they've been inside the 20, they've only scored 2 touchdowns.
Jerry Rice back in the game. Somebody on the 49er front line moved, I think.
Ball starts prior to the snap, number 79 offense.
Harris Martin. Jerry Rice is back in the game.
Maybe that's one of the reasons the 49ers have had trouble inside the 20 is they would like to get the ball more to Jerry Rice. I think, you know, as Bill Walsh says, we maybe got a little too involved in the running game and we weren't getting big chunks or big plays. He said, we have to get the ball to Jerry Rice more. This wouldn't be a bad time to do it.
2nd and 14. Through the hands of Roger Craig. In the first quarter, the 49ers had 93 yards rushing to 6 for the Rams. Rams had 80 yards passing to 57 for the 49ers.
Yeah, the 49ers are having great success running, but you know, the funny thing is, Pat, so far in this game, that last pass, the 4th pass they've dropped, and that's what's been haunting them lately. You know, they dropped passes. Last week against the Broncos, they had penalty problems, and something always seems to jump up and bite them in this area.
3rd down. Heller, the move man. Straight ahead to Craig. To the 1, and very close to a 1st down. What a good call.
I tell you, it was a great call. Maybe that's the thing to do. A team that used to be a big passing team, rely on the pass, go to that trap again. It's the same play, the same trap, the same way. Guy McIntyre making the trap on Jeter, and Roger Craig running through it. Watch the trap. Watch 62 come across there. He traps 77. They let Gary Jeter come across the line of scrimmage. Guy McIntyre comes from the opposite side. Whap. Roger Craig hits the hole.
And hits it pretty quick.
Yeah, that's not a bad start either for Roger Craig, huh? 98 yards already and 7 carries.
Interesting. You asked Bill Walsh yesterday if he had his plan, if he had his desires what would balance be in terms of his offense? He said 150 rushing, 250 passing.
Well, his rushing is getting close already, and he has a little work to do in the passing.
Yeah.
But right now, he's going for a 4th down play. He doesn't need a touchdown here. He can get a 1st down, again, without getting to the goal line.
Only about a foot. Craig over the pile and into the end zone. His feet never touch the ground.
Roger Craig is an amazing runner. The way he gets that high knee action, he even gets it when he's up in the air without his feet on the ground, as you said.
Watch him.
Yeah, he's going to take off, but, you know, he runs the way those broad jumpers in the Olympics do. How they get up in the air and they keep those feet going the same way, and that looks like an Olympic broad jump. Of course, in college, he was a high hurdler. Some of that comes from the high hurdle.
Hofer. Extra point is good. He just stepped over the bodies.
Green are deep in the Rams.
10 plays, 80 yards they went. Kept the ball 4 minutes, 9 seconds. Roger Craig, at whom you look, scored the touchdown over the top. There's the story. Craig, by the way, carried the ball down 8 times and has already got 100 yards. Would be expensive based on what he told us.
Yeah, every time he gains over 100 yards, he takes his entire offensive line out to dinner.
Gaston Green, picked up by Doug Jubot, working on Jerry Rice over on the sideline. The bottom line of that story about Roger Craig taking the offensive line to dinner, he takes them to his own restaurant.
Well, that's the thing, but he said the deal, he doesn't want them to think that he doesn't pay, so he brings out the cash in front of them, and he said every one of those meals is costing them $500 to $600. Now, that's good. I mean, offensive linemen, you know, when you take them out to eat, they're going to belly up for a drop.
Right.
You don't get those little $10 dinners. That's good.
Everett, intended for Aaron Cox. Right now for an NFL update, let's take you to New York and Brent Musburger.
Well, Pat, it's been tough going for New Orleans up in Seattle. They trailed by a field goal. They had fumbles going in for an apparent touchdown, and then Hebert finally hits Martin for this scoring strike, and now the Saints lead it 7-3. Back to Pat and John.
Score here is 14-7, 14-11 left to play in the first half. Roger Craig has been spectacular. Holohan is the H-back this time, but it's Cox in motion. Greg Bell stopped by Mike Walter. They haven't been able to get anything going on the ground.
I tell you, you know, the Rams have had so much success, again, with that running game and with Greg Bell, that now the 49er defense, you can see, is just keying on Bell when he's there. And I think what the Rams will probably have to do is start passing some more on those running down. And when you get that first down or that second down, start going for some passing things in there. And if they want to get up tight and key, then go to work in behind her.
3rd and 10. Gaston Green was the running back. He got 5 yards, perhaps 6. Not enough for a first down. Larry Roberts made the stop.
Well, the Rams did the opposite of that. They ran when they were supposed to run, and then they ran when they were supposed to run again, and then they ran when they were supposed to pass. So you can say they're fast. As long as John Robinson's coaching, the Rams are going to be a running team.
John Taylor back deep for the 49ers. Rich Camarillo to punt it. At the 34. Coverage is good. Taylor got it back to about the 39, where the 49ers will take over. Robert Del Pino down to make the stop on John Taylor. So 12:44 left to play in the first half. 14-7. San Francisco 14, the Rams 7. 12:44 left to play in the first half. Just to summarize, rushing yards, the 49ers have 108 to Los Angeles 12. Craig has 100 of those himself and 2 touchdowns. Aaron Cox caught a 44-yard touchdown pass from Jim Everett to get the Rams on the board.
You know, it's 88 degrees down in the field, but they've already taken Mike Wilcher, the linebacker from the Rams, into the locker room because of heat. We see Ronnie Lott down there. I think the players are having more trouble than you'd expect from 88-degree heat.
Here's Rathman. Not much there for him. Kevin Green. Pickup of 1 for Rathman.
Kevin Green is, again, number 91, is the leading sacker in the NFL. And he has an interesting nickname. He's called Dr. Troglodyte. He came in the office yesterday, and Jim Everett said, "Hey, Dr. Troglodyte, how you doing?"
I didn't really know what that meant. Did you?
Well, there it is. Troglodyte. Yeah, it's a noun. We had to look it up. It's a cave dweller.
Rathman again. And again for an NFL update. Let's go back to New York, and here's Brent Musburger.
Well, Pat, Denver activating Mark Jackson yesterday. And look at John Elway hum this baby in there. Wow, Mark's got it 7-0 right now. Denver leading Atlanta. Back to Pat and John.
14-7 here. 3rd and 6. Montana has been unbeatable in this stadium. Some astounding numbers, too. Just got rid of it. Headed for John Taylor.
Yeah, this is what the Rams are trying to do. This is their nickel package. Now, you see, they have Giroux up in there like he's going to come. Then he backs off. Then they give him maximum pressure. You see, now that's what they're trying to do is get the guys. You see, Kevin Green, 91, was there right at the end. They didn't feel over the years they'd done that to Montana, and they want to start doing it to everyone, but specifically Joe Montana.
Harry Helton back to punt. Good kick in the direction of Henry Ellard. Flag on the play. Ellard steps around a couple. Finally gets knocked out of bounds. Penalty marker. Back at the line of scrimmage.
Penalty marker on the field.
That has to be a serious one because when the official, the first thing he throws is a flag. The second thing he throws is his hat. So after you run out of flags, you use your hat. They also throw a hat if a guy steps out of bounds so they know he can't come inbounds and be eligible again.
Also looks like he might have dropped his handkerchief. That must have been some serious stuff.
I think so. I think that was a double thing. I think that was the flag and the hat.
Holding. Number 24 offense. Penalty decline. First down.
Harry Sidney was holding. Penalty was declined by the Rams. And so they'll take over. About their own 28-yard line. 14-7. The 49ers ahead. 14-7 San Francisco with 11:08 left to play in the first half. Henry Ellard moves in motion. The pitch is back to Brett Bell. That's 3 yards. That might be his longest run of the day. The Rams' first 5 possessions. Look at that. They only had 3 plays in each possession. They got a touchdown 1 time. Fumbled, punted 3 times. That's a tough way to operate.
Well, you know, the Rams are going to be like that if they can't get their running game going, because they rely on that run. They rely on that tailback to chew up yardage, but also get first down and then try and mix in the strike. And when you don't get those yards on first downs, then it's going to be that type of day.
Pass caught, a fine pass by Damon Johnson. Ramon Johnson, I should say. Jeff Fuller on the stop. Pat Summerall with John Madden at Anaheim Stadium, Anaheim, California, on a bright, sunny, hot day. Now exactly 10 minutes left to play in the first quarter. That might be the best nose tackle in the NFL.
I sure think so. I mean, he's a guy that plays over the center, and he's just so short and powerful. He's always in a pass rush. He's always in a defensive hitting position.
Pass from Everett to Holohan, good for 4 yards. Fuller made the stop.
I think when you talk about nose tackles, you know, if you had a prototype where you could build a statue of one, you just put some molding around Michael Carter, number 95, and say, that's it. You know, he never gets out of that hitting position. He never gets high. Most nose tackles, as they get tired, they get higher and higher, and you can move them out. He always stays low. Everett.
Delpino, but a flag on the play. Jeff Fuller was the cover man. When he gets in the game, something happens.
He is really a valuable rookie, and he can run with the ball, he can block, and the best thing about him is as a pass receiver. Now, the official says he's out of bounds here, but that's going to be an interference penalty against the 49ers.
A 37-yard penalty.
Watch here, he has Jeff Fuller beaten. He has a step on him. Fuller probably has to do that. Delpino catches the ball, but it's out of bounds.
Penalty.
But then, as you say, then you had the penalty, so it's the same as a reception.
That'll bring up 1st and 10 Rams on the 49er 18. Gaston Green, the deep back. Everett out of the end zone, and wisely, everybody was covered. He looked to Ellard.
See, Ronnie Lott was there. He's a free safety, so he saw Ellard coming to the inside, and he just stopped and double covered him. So I think Everett was trying to get the ball to Ellard. Then when he saw Lott pick him up, he decided that instead of trying to force it into double coverage, he'd just throw it away out of the end zone. Hey, Ronnie Lott gives the 49ers that experience. You know, he's one of the toughest safeties in the league, but also one of the smartest.
With a play like that.
Yeah, I mean, he knew what Everett was trying to do, and he just got in position so Everett couldn't do it.
Green and Delpino. That's Delpino. Fumble. And the 49ers get it back. Charles Haley came up with the ball.
And the rookie Delpino just made a big play on a pass thing. Now he's usually in there as a pass receiver. So what the Rams are trying to do is throw the 49ers defense off by handing a draw to Delpino. He comes in there, he makes a pretty good run. Looks like he ran into the back of the pile. The ball jumped out, and there was Charles Haley.
Rams have turned it over twice. 49ers won. 49ers have been able to move the ball mostly on the ground, which is not what you think of when you think of Bill Walsh and his offensive system.
And the Rams were moving it through the air and not on the ground, which you wouldn't think of John Robinson's system.
Doug Reed on the stop.
You know, the Rams Rams are going to more and more of this eagle as a first down. Again, Mark Giroux, the linebacker, now he plays nose tackle. Then they only have two defensive linemen. They're the two guys, one to his left and one to his right. Then the next guys are linebackers, two linebackers inside, and a safety up there. So they have 8 men up on or around the line of scrimmage. Now that is really a run defense.
2nd and 7. Montana's pass was complete to Brent Jones. Not enough for first down.
49ers are really running out of tight ends. They don't throw to their tight end much. John Frank, the starting tight end, has a broken hand. So Ron Heller is starting now, and Brent Jones is a backup.
Brings up 3rd and 3. Heller's back in the game now. Craig from Montana out of bounds by Vince Newsom.
You know, just thinking as I'm watching this first half here, Pat, that if you had to pick one player in the NFL other than a quarterback to start an offensive team with, I think this is the guy that I would go with. I think right now he is probably the best back in the NFL. When you take everything, running and blocking and receiving and all that, he wouldn't be a bad guy to start a team with, Roger Craig.
He wouldn't make a mistake. Montana incomplete for John Taylor. Leroy Irvin had a blanket on Taylor.
You know, that's the thing that John Taylor has to pick up the slack now. When you have a player like a Jerry Rice and he goes down with an injury, then John Taylor is the backup and he has to pick up that slack because you still have to be able to play your game plan.
Montana now 8 out of 12 for 78 yards. There's Jerry Rice. Caught 2 while he was there.
He got hurt on that one. Remember, there was the one he caught. It looked like he got grabbed in the face mask and he pulled back and hurt his ankle.
Hand out to Mike Wilson this time.
You talk about what an injury will do. Mike Wilson, of course, is the other starter. Jerry Rice, we saw him in the sideline, but Bill Walsh wanted to use a lot of 3 wide receivers. Use John Taylor, Mike Wilson, and Jerry Rice. Now, when Jerry Rice goes down, then Taylor has to take his place. So that kind of gets him out of being able to use that 3 wide receiver formation.
First down, San Francisco. Montana hit just as he let it go, almost picked off by Leroy Irvin. Harry Greer was the intended receiver. He was just activated. He wears number 83.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting thing. See, if we look here, here's Giroux here. Now, what that says is that they're in Eagle. Now, Eagle, they play man-to-man, but he can just tie him up. They can drop off, only rush 4, and still play zone. Now, Montana expects a man-to-man. But look, Green, instead of coming, he dropped off. And lo and behold, there was a zone that he had to throw into.
Montana out quickly, gets it to Rathman, who's wide open. Rathman picked up by Vince Newsom. Gain of 23.
You know, Bill Walsh always scripts his first 25 plays. That was the 27th play, but look what he did. He came into this game wanting balance. He had 13 runs, averaged 8.7. He had 12 passes, averaged 6.5. Now he is off his script. Now he's on that card, just calling plays as he feels or what he's learned from the first 25. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. Craig. You know, if you look at that 49er offensive line, they are spreading the guard away from the center on both sides to spread out those 2 outside Ram defenders.
You know, that's a smart thing, and they can do that because those guards aren't covered. So now, as you say, as those guards spread out, the tackles spread out, and then those defenders on the tackles also spread out, and in alignment, they're getting some pretty good holes for Roger Craig.
Mike Wilson, wide right, Taylor to the left. Rathman inside the Rams 25 to about the 23. Newsom tripped him up. Doug Dubose has replaced Roger Craig, and he needs a rest.
You see, Dubose is number 25. He goes in motion there. Now they're going to hand the ball to Rathman. Again, good blocking there. The center gets good movement. Guards get good movement. The official gets knocked down by a defender. He's out of the way. I tell you, if Rathman could have kept one more step, he could have gotten by that official and the rest of the Rams.
Dubose the ball carrier. 2-yard gain, stopped by Carl Eckert.
You know, the interesting thing is all these guys are from Nebraska. Look at that from the news. Craig, going into this game, has gained 150 yards. Rathman, 425. That's all total yards. DuBose, 386. From that Nebraska team, they've provided 55% of this 49er offense.
They have today 159 yards already. DuBose and Sidney. Montana chased out of the pocket. Gets it out to Brent Jones. Not enough for a first down.
And that was a third down, too, and because he couldn't get that thing out there and get that first down, the 49ers are going to have to settle for a field goal attempt here.
Montana will stay in to hold. Kofor replace Ray Wersching. Will try from 40 yards out. It's good. From 40 yards, Kofor hits. And with 3:41 left to play in the first half, 17-7. San Francisco 17, the Rams 7. Kofor just hit a 40-yard field goal for the 49ers. That scoring drive, 12 plays, 66 yards. 3:41 left to play in the first half. Gaston Green from the 3. Lost the ball. Rams got it back. Boy, what a break that is. 15-yard return.
I'm surprised Gaston Green didn't see that. It's his own man. Watch him as he starts to cut left there. Now his own man is going to show up right there, and he tries to jump over him or runs into him. That was Mike McDonald, number 90. But I guess sometimes you're going down there and you're looking for or at white jerseys, and maybe you don't notice your own color. And he just dropped that ball just before he hit Mike McDonald.
McDonald, I think, recovered the fumble. First and 10. Everett back to throw. Pass complete to Henry Ellard. Ram first down. Eric Wright was the 49er defender.
You know, it's interesting. We see Henry Ellard catching that pass. Aaron Cox has already caught a touchdown pass, a rookie from Arizona State. And just this week, the Rams signed Ron Brown again. As John Robinson said, that doesn't mean anything. He has 2 weeks where they don't have to count him, but he has to make the team in that time.
It's a 2-week tryout is what it amounts to.
Well, they also have another rookie, Willie Anderson, who has great speed who they really like.
First and 10, Ellard again. Hit by McKyer this time. 5-yard pickup.
what they're trying to do is you try and sell, when you run that short pattern, you try and sell them that you're going up. And you take like 3 steps, boom, 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 real quick to make them think you're going deep, and then you just stop. And that's just called a quick or a stop pattern.
2nd and 5. Greg Bell. He had bruised the shoulder, which was already bruised. Ronnie Lott made the stop. Here's the nose man.
Well, you know, Michael Carter doesn't just make tackles when you run up the middle. See him, he starts to the right, and he is so strong, he can run right over and through guys and get down the line of scrimmage and force that out, that off-tackle play outside.
Yeah, that's a pretty good center that he's playing in front of Doug Smith.
I tell you, it's a physical mismatch, so Carter is just way too strong for him.
Aaron Cox, I guess, was, well, that's what the public address announcer says. He was the intended receiver.
Now, again, I would have to think that Jim Everett was just throwing that one away, Pat. It was one of those things where Aaron Cox was running a corner, and he was double covered out there, and had Jim Everett tried to throw it to Aaron Cox better, it probably would have been picked off.
2 minutes, 10 seconds left to play. First half. 49ers on top, 17-7. Bell. 2 yards. Haley on the stop. 2 minutes now left, and it is a job today to keep yourself cool. 2 minutes to go in the first half. San Francisco by 10. Greg Bell has 9 carries for 19 yards. Roger Craig has 10 carries for 113 yards. Ellard in motion out of the backfield. 49ers coming on a blitz. Ellard. Just a little too quick.
That was an example. Charles White is back again for the second week, and as we said, Greg Bell is going to do most of the running. John Robinson feels that he wants to play Charlie White in the nickel. He said he is the best pass protecting guy that he has. And you see what he was doing there? He was just helping his right tackle, Jackie Slater. As Stover comes off the block, boom, he tries to hit him right in the rib.
Don Taylor. Goes from a couple, shift up by Delpino again. So the 49ers will get it with 1:46 seconds left in the first half. 41-yard punt by Rich Camarillo. A return of 3. A strange first half, as we've been saying. 49ers have been able to run. The Rams haven't. Green Bay beat Minnesota 34-14. Bears over the Cowboys.
Hey, 2 of those teams who won today, the Bears and the Redskins, could be the best 2 teams in the NFC.
Rathman gets out past the 15. Carl Eckern and Larry Kelm made the stop.
Let's watch the blocking here. Steve Wallace is number 74. Jesse Sapullo is the left guard, number 61. And I'll tell you, they do a pretty good job of picking up stunts and stuff. You know, you go to block one guy, and then he's not there, then boom, you got to get up and pick off that next guy, that linebacker. And probably on this whole offensive team, the most underrated group is that offensive line, and they take a lot of abuse when the 49ers lose, but they never seem to get the credit when the 49ers win.
He stayed down.
That's what Roger Craig was saying last night. He said, boy, I tell you, these offensive linemen are really playing. he said, they're just blocking great for me. He's trying to get out there behind McIntyre. McIntyre cuts his man down as Craig slips. But he said, you know, when you can run like that and gain over 100 yards and have those kind of things, your offensive line is blocking, he said that's when football is really fun.
As you said before, it always seems to be fun for Roger Craig. He's got the ball again behind McIntyre. And a 49er first down. Johnny Johnson tripped him up.
Yeah, that was a good example. You know, you always teach your running back, get in the back pocket of your guard. Watch him here. The guard is going to pull. The third guy, here's McIntyre. Now watch Craig. He gets right in his back pocket and follows him up the field. See McIntyre? Now Craig just catches up. Now get right in his back pocket. Right there. Wait. Boom. Run off. Pretty good.
Very good.
Yeah. McIntyre could run almost as fast as some of those running backs.
Doug Dubose. Dubose stays on his feet, gets another 49er first down. Finally stopped by Carl Eckert. That's the end of the first half. With the score, San Francisco 17, the Rams 7.
Oh, that Roger Craig is something. And earlier today, we had a marvelous quarterbacking performance by Mark Rippon of the Washington Redskins. As Dick Butkus said a little bit earlier, Doug Williams or Rippon. It's going to be a tough call for Joe Gibbs when Williams comes back. Now look at this touchdown pitch to Monk. He does the rest, running it in. He scored twice. Dick, what's wrong with the Cardinals secondary?
Well, did you see that? And on this pass, too, it seems like the Skins receivers are wide open, and I think that was one of the problems with the Cardinals was their pass defense, and Rippon just ripped them apart.
Now, what about Rippon? He was hurt late in the game. How serious?
Right, but what I liked about him, you see him there, he came up, threw the pads off, and let me get some throws in there that was just bruised ribs. They put him back in the game. The guy's 6'4", 235, man. He wants to play. But like you said, I don't know what they're going to do when Doug Williams gets back.
Yeah, throwback guy did the job. Giants did the job in the second half. Bill Parcells had to read the riot act. They come back, beat the Lions 30-10, 3 sacks for Taylor. Cleveland, big performance by the Browns defense here this afternoon. Watch what they did to Randall Cunningham. I mean, they sacked him 9 times. They were all over the guy. And the Browns got a good performance from Don Strock. Now, Bernie Kosar starting to throw. Not in there yet, so Strock wings a couple of touchdown passes, and this was a huge win for the Browns this afternoon. Let's check some standings for you. This is a loss for the Eagles that keeps them from going into a first-place tie in the NFC. You see the 3 teams tied? Phoenix, the Giants, and Washington deadlocked at the top. The last of the unbeatens has fallen. Over in the AFC, 27-21. New England does it, and Doug Flutie got the job done, and Boomer Esiason threw 5 interceptions. Now, he did have a couple of touchdown passes, 17 for the year, but the Bengals turned it over 6 times, and Flutie and the Patriot offense did the rest. Reggie Dupard from 10 yards out swings on into the end zone, and a big win for the Patriots here this afternoon. Houston, they get Warren Moon, big emotional lift, and watch this ball that he puts in the air now to Givens. Wow, 43 yards, and the Oilers were never headed. Big-time afternoon for Givens in that one. So the AFC Central now, suddenly, they got a race. 1 game separating Cincinnati and Houston, and Cleveland is only 2 back. The Raiders, they get help here this afternoon. The return of Bo Jackson in Kansas City. Sellout crowd. How did Bo do? 21 carries, 70 yards, and this touchdown right now. What do you think about Bo Jackson playing football?
I had my doubts about that play both ways, but you know something? I mean, this guy's really got physical abilities, and why not expose him and play all the sports you can? If there's an owner that'll let you do it, go ahead and do it. I'm all for him.
I agree, and he's got the cash on top.
Well, yeah, that too.
Indianapolis, big over Tampa Bay. 35-31. A couple of stories here for you. Eric Dickerson had a big-time afternoon. One of his 2 touchdowns. Really a satin smooth runner. But I'll tell you, Testaverde may be coming of age now. He had a 400-yard passing day for the first time. And here he is throwing this touchdown to Bruce Hill. What about Testaverde? You were watching him late, Dick.
Yeah, you know, this is the second game in a row where it comes down to the closing seconds of the game where they can possibly win the game. And he just marched them down there. He had a great day, but just, again, I just think they have to learn how to win. Back, you know, when you got only a couple seconds late in the games, he's got to learn how to win.
Dick, there's a team learning how to win. May surprise some folks. The Green Bay Packers. They hammered Minnesota. You got to wonder what's wrong with the Viking chemistry. Big afternoon for linebacker Timmy Harris. He had safety, blocked a punt for a touchdown, and throw in a couple of sacks. And Lindy Infante calmly walking off the field, and the Packers celebrate. Hey, Dick, he's saying, don't do that to me in Green Bay in December. It's okay inside.
Yeah, maybe it'll be milk. America's dear.
Your Chicago Bears, all those milk drinkers in Soldier Field, got the job done again today. 17-7 is the final there. Take a look at the standings in the NFC Central. The Bears now with a 2-game advantage over Minnesota, and we can switch our focus to baseball. Game 2 of the World Series tonight. Oakland players have to be talking to themselves after losing on Kirk Gibson's dramatic home run last night. A few moments ago, talked to Mark McGwire and asked him what the A's will do to regain momentum tonight.
Well, just come back strong today. I think it's going to be a true test of what we're capable of doing today. You know, of course, the Oakland Athletics played great ball all year. Last night, you know, that's a hard loss, but, you know, what happened when you have Dennis Eckersley, one of the best relievers or the best reliever in baseball, go against one of the top hitters in the National League, somebody's going to win. Last night, Kirk Gibson won. The game was over with in a hurry. We're just going to come back and play hard today, and we're going to show people what the Oakland Athletics are made of.
So the players in the clubhouse, they don't react with anger in that situation. They just say, well, hey, that's the game, right?
Yeah, right. We weren't angry at all, you know. That's baseball. Somebody's going to win the ball game. Last night, they won it. Kirk Gibson, if there was a script written for him, it was written for him last night. He didn't start. He was in the clubhouse, I guess, all night doing rehab, and he comes out on the bench in the 9th inning. Look what happened. So, you know, baseball is a great game, and last night was Kirk Gibson's night.
Hey, Mark, it doesn't get any easier when you're taking on Oral Hershiser. Now, what experience have you personally had and the team against Hershiser?
Nothing. I just played golf alongside Oral Hershiser at Rod Dato's tournament last year, and that's the only time I've ever seen him and talked to him. But, you know, it's going to be interesting. You know, we don't get to see him pitch except for on television, and, you know, I'm looking forward to it because I know he's a competitor, and I know I'm a competitor, and I know this Oakland A's is a competing team, so it's just going to be a great ball game.
Yeah, and Oral is a much better pitcher than he is a golfer. Mark McGwire.
What about Gibson, the ex-football guy? Come on. Cutting that injury out. Bam, out of here.
All right, we'll continue right after these messages from your local station. Dick and I were just talking Roger Craig's run, the best we've seen all year by any running back.
I think so, 46 yards. But the thing that impresses me about Roger Craig is the way he runs with his knees up so high. I mean, you know, if I was going to try to tackle the guy, I don't want a knee in my head, in my face.
Well, let's take a look at this run again. Dick, how in the world would you go after him?
Well, you got to grab him up high. See, somebody tries that there, but he keeps his leg drive going, and we counted like 4.5 tackles that he broke through. So it was a great effort on his part.
Yeah, and as a result of his big first half, the 49ers in control of the Rams right now. Meanwhile, Atlanta and Denver, they are tied at 7. San Diego over Miami, 21-10 at the half there. And, of course, 49er Ram fans are watching what the Saints are doing. 10-6 right now. Saints with the lead over the Seahawks at halftime. So, Dick, let's send everybody back to Anaheim. Pat Summerall and John Madden. Pat?
49ers 17, the Rams 7. We've been talking about it throughout the first half, the surprising ability of the 49ers to run the football and the inability of the Rams to do that same thing. Now, what changes do you foresee coming?
Well, I believe that the Rams have to get some running going because a John Robinson team is a team that has to establish the run and then be able to throw. And I think that's one thing they have to do. The other thing, they have to start having some success against Roger Craig, especially in that nickel defense, because 2 of those runs were in that thing where they don't have a middle linebacker in there. They ran the same play, Guy McIntyre coming across and trapping Gary Jeter. I think at halftime, I think they better get that thing solved, or Roger Craig is going to have 250 yards on the run.
Well, we'll see what happens. CBS Sports coverage of NFL football will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Dodge Cars and Trucks. On the street or off the road, it's the new spirit of Dodge. U.S. Armed Forces, it's a great place to start. And by Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you.
49ers huddling around over in front of their bench. Here's what we've been talking about. The 49ers rushed for 153 yards, averaging 7.7 yards per carry. The Rams averaged 2.7 yards per carry. That won't get it done.
No, and then look where they got it done the most. Of course, Roger Craig got the biggest part of that rushing. And look, he got 32 yards left, 81 up the middle. Now, that's that trap against that nickel or pass rush defense. That's where the biggest part of his running came in the first half. And that's the part I think the Rams have to plug up. And you see the offensive line of the 49ers, they're standing over there looking at those plays. Now, here's how the 49ers pass distribution went. They threw 6 times to the wide receiver. They threw 7 times to the running back, completed 5. And then they threw 4 to the tight ends, completing 3. I know Bill Walsh would like to see that wide receiver attempt come up. And a big part of that is whether Jerry Rice, who we just see walking out on the field now, whether he can play or not.
Here's the play. He hurt his left ankle, and you can see it buckle underneath.
Well, what happened, I think, his left ankle buckled when Jerry Gray grabbed him by the face mask. It wasn't a thing where he was tackled around the leg of the ankle. He was tackled on the headgear, and his ankle went out. But I think the 49ers are going to have one of 2 things. Either Roger Craig going for another 130 yards or get Jerry Rice back in there in the second half.
John Taylor from the 5. James Washington down with Michael Stewart to make the stop for the Rams. Joe Montana, last night, as soon as the team broke the meetings, he went for treatment on his arm and his ribs. And then later last night, back in his own room, he had ice on his elbow and one of those electronic shock treatment things, which to work on his ribs.
I'm sure he also had a shot today in the ribs so that that thing is deadened.
Roger Craig. Bernier taking Wilshire's place. Brought him down.
Now here's where Joe Montana's passed. You see, the bottom ones are the 4 short zones. The top ones are the 3 deep. So he's thrown deep twice to the left. He's thrown none deep to the middle and 1 out there to the right. That was one to Jerry Rice. 2 for 3 to the left zone, 3 for 5 in the middle zone, 5 for 5 in the second middle zone, and 1 for 1 outside. So you can see the biggest part of his completions are in that short area, less than 15 yards.
2nd and 6. That's why he's so hard to rush. Rams only sacked him once. Rathman hit at the line of scrimmage. No gain. John Miller. The word on Wilshire is that he did suffer a concussion and will not return.
You know, he suffered a concussion. The first thing they wanted to do, it was so hot in the field, they wanted to get him off the field so that the heat wouldn't be a part of that.
Alvin Wright, a little bit gimpy. Gary Jeter has taken his place. 3rd and 6. And Jeter put a move right off the ball. He just jumped right past.
Well, you know what happened on that, Pat? You'll see Jeter there right on the left of the screen. That's that eagle look. Giroux is up over the center, and Jeter's to the left. Now watch the left guard. He steps down to block Giroux, and no one gets Gary Jeter. You see it here. You see Zappulla, he steps down to block Giroux, and Rathman, I guess, was supposed to block Jeter.
Henry Ellard fields it for the Rams. Cuts in between a couple of tacklers and some more. Now gets in the 49er territory to their 38-39, where he's knocked out of bounds by Sam Kennedy. Good return. 39-yard punt. A return of 19.
Again, I think that was what the Rams probably talked about at halftime is let's get up there, let's tighten up on that run so we can get them in that third down situation where they have to pass, maybe confuse them. Again, get some pressure on Joe Montana. Montana's there in the phone saying, who was supposed to block Jeter on that play, Rathman or Sapulu?
Everett just barely does get rid of it. Del Pino. It's picked off by Ronnie Lott. Del Pino was the intended receiver. Lott for the interception. Everett was hit just as he let it go, and that caused the interception.
That was part of it. He has a good pass rush here by the 49ers. We see Haley coming in. He was the guy who hit him, 94, Charles Haley, just as he was throwing it. But then I think the other thing is the area Everett threw it to, there were 3 49ers in that area. What? 1, 2, 3 white jerseys there. 2 of them fell down. Ronnie Lott was the only one up, and he intercepted the ball. That was when you say, well, the quarterback shouldn't have thrown that. Well, heck yes, he shouldn't have. That's easy to say, but when you have number 94 on you and you can't see all those guys.
And you get nothing on the ball when you're being knocked backwards by Charles Haley. Young is the quarterback now. Steve Young has replaced Montana. Hand off to Craig. Craig is hit at the line of scrimmage.
You know, Pat, last week, Bill Walsh just changed during the game to Steve Young to try and get a different look. Then later, Joe Montana came back in again. Then he hurt his rib. So this is something I think Bill Walsh is trying to get into, to use both Joe Montana and Steve Young. Joe Montana took a sack on that last play, but the word we have is there's no injury involved here.
Doug Dubose has replaced Roger Craig. Second down and 10. Young just gets rid of it. Over the head of Ron Heller. Incomplete. Under pressure.
I think that's why it's tough for a quarterback to come in like this just for a series or two, because you can see Steve Young here. He looks like he's throwing a sledgehammer. You know, he's too excited. And if you're excited and you're a defensive lineman or a linebacker, that's good. You know, I mean, you got stuff drooling out, you got sweat coming down, and you know, convolutions hanging off you. But if you're a quarterback and you need that touch, sometimes you try and throw a touch pass and boom, it just goes out of the park.
Third and 10. Fumble. 49ers get it back. Just fumble the exchange with the center, Randy Cross.
And I think that's the same thing. I mean, you change Steve Young's there in the sideline, and he comes in, and you can't relax your hands. You ever try that? The toughest thing to relax, I think, are your lower extremities. And I think that's why they fumble the snaps. I think that's why balls go off their hands, and that's why it's tough to come in like this for a series. It's not like a relief pitcher in baseball who gets to warm up in a bullpen.
Again, the Ram defense has done its job. Harry Helton's kick is a shank. Ball out of bounds at the 34.5-yard line of San Francisco. So the Rams will have another shot from fairly close.
And this is the area that John Robinson hopes that he can get a running game going.
Only a 13-yard punt. Just inside the 35. Rams have it 1st and 10. Greg Bell. Picked up about 4. Michael Walter made the stop. Give him 3. It's been a tough day for Greg Bell. He just hasn't been able to get any running room at all.
You know, Greg Bell injured his shoulder last week against Atlanta. He didn't practice on Wednesday, but said on Thursday and Friday that it was fine. And I think the 49er defense is playing a bigger part of that than Bell's shoulder.
2nd and 8. The ex-Charger fights down for a Ram 1st down at about the 22. Michael Walter on the stop. They're at the 21.
Yeah, we were talking about Michael Carter. Watch him here. He's a physical mismatch for Doug Smith. So what do? You have to give help. So they keep their left guard in, Tom Newberry. Now that is a physical match. When you put Smith on him, and then you bring Tom Newberry, 66, he is built just like Carter. And he's one of the best blocking guards in the league. So Smith may be a mismatch, but when you bring Newberry in there, then the Rams win that one.
On the blitz, and Everett takes off. Kevin Fagan tripped him up.
It was an interesting thing. Now when the 49ers bring a linebacker from the outside, Newberry now can't help on Carter. And so you'll see what happens. Here, Carter's going to come this way. Newberry would like to help, but he has to come out and block outside. You see it there? Now, Newberry trying to help on Carter, can't get to the outside.
Pressure came from Fuller again that time as he blitzed from the outside. 2nd down, 7. For Ellard, Ram touchdown. A flag on the play. Penalty marker back close to the line of scrimmage. Tim McKyer was the defender. I think they're going to bring this one back.
Foul, unnecessary roughness, number 67 of the Rams. After the score, touchdown, 15-yard penalty on the succeeding kickoff.
Against Duval Love.
He's the right guard. We'll see the touchdown again. Now what happens if that had to be in the back after Ellard catches a pass? You see he runs a post pattern in here. He gets the step on Tim McKyer, and Jim Everett again throws that perfect pass. Now the 15-yard penalty will come on the kickoff.
Which means they'll have to kick off from the 20-yard line.
The 49ers should get good field position.
Lansford is holding and holding. Short kick after the defense held twice, and it's 17-14. 49ers 17, Rams 14, 9:20 remain 3rd quarter. The Rams scoring drive. 4 plays is all it took Jim Everett to get him in the end zone, and he threw that pass, that touchdown pass, under heavy pressure.
Well, heavy pressure from Michael Carter. Michael Carter got a big push on Doug Smith, the center, pushed him back, and then made a big dive. I'll tell you, as Jim Everett had to avoid that dive or step into that dive, and he hit Ellard for the touchdown. That was some throw, to be able to throw a perfect strike with pressure like that.
John Taylor back deep. Beg your pardon, Doug DuBose back deep. Singly. Lansford kick to DuBose, goes right through his leg. Back to the 10, inside the 10. And Rhodes gets back to the 16. Now that's the break for the Rams. Del Pino was down to make the stop.
That was a big break for the Rams because the 49ers should have had good field position, and now they don't. Let's watch that throw of Jim Everett again. Watch, here's Michael Carter. Watch the pressure he's going to put. He goes right over. He starts Doug Smith going back. Now he's going to dive at Everett. Now Everett has to throw off his back foot. You're not supposed to do that, but look at the result of it. Here he gets the pressure. Newberry again had to go back outside, open that lane, and look at this throw to Henry Ellard.
Young is the quarterback, and so is Jerry Rice back at wide receiver, but he's limping. Aaron Diaz made the stop on Roger Craig with help from Carl Eckert.
Yeah, I think the 49ers are trying to get Rice in there. Maybe if he can't run, just to be out there as a decoy. Because you can see that's not Jerry Rice running as we know Jerry Rice can run. But I'm surprised that Joe Montana's not in there. I can't believe that they would take him out now if there's nothing wrong with him.
I can't either. 2nd and 9. Doesn't appear to be anything wrong with him.
I mean, Steve Young is throwing the ball in, fumbles the ball. I don't know that you need a change at that time.
To Craig again. Larry Kelm is there to stop him. Gain of maybe 2.
Because it seems like after Bill Walsh took Joe Montana out, that this offense, for whatever reason, has just gone flat. Because Montana had him going pretty good in that first half with Roger Craig running and, moving the ball up and down the field. Again, he probably had a shot at Novocaine for those ribs, and maybe that's worn off a little.
That could be. 3rd and 7.
I can't believe you just make a change when you're ahead 17-7.
Harry Greer split wide to the right. Taylor and Wilson to the left. Young looking in that direction. Pass very nearly picked off. And it could have been caught, too, by Wilson.
See, Mike Wilson is coming in against the zone. The Rams were in a zone. We see a linebacker come out, the safety come up. Steve Young tried to get it in that hole between them, and that could have been caught.
For the 3rd straight time, the Ram defense has stopped the 49ers. Henry Ellard, who nearly has returned to. Helton's punt this time is much better. Ellard doesn't have much of any place to go this time. Harry Sidney down to bring him down. 54-yard punt that time. The one before was 13. And then Washington takes on Green Bay at 4 o'clock Eastern time. And all of a sudden, the Packers are putting some points on the board.
Well, their coach started buying them donuts, and they bought them donuts on Saturday before the game in the last 2 weeks, and they won.
Everett back to Bell. Charles Haley stops Bell after a gain of 3.
Did you see Haley come flying across the field? That's the type of guy you need in today's defense, I think. Whatever that position is, whether it's a linebacker, the outside guy. Watch him. He's the outside guy right here. Now, that can run that play down from the backside or can run that quarterback down. The guy that has that type of speed that can get across the field before your back can get to the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 7. Henry Ellard. I think he's right. Other teams are going to have to start double covering this guy.
Well, it took a while. Henry Ellard is having problems over the years of, contract and holding out and those types of things. And so they're not sure what Ellard they're going to see. Aaron Cox on the other side is a rookie. They're not sure what he's going to do. And I think whatever the Rams do in the first half of the season will dictate the defenses they're going to get in the second half of the season.
1st and 10. Here comes the blitz. The ball goes to Bell. 3 yards. For an NFL update, let's take you again to New York and Brent Musburger.
John, we hope this is not serious. Watch your monitor now. It's Denver. John Elway under pressure, and a would-be tackler rolls up after the block on the knee, and he has gone to the sideline. Gary Kubiak is now playing. No preliminary report, so we'll make no snap judgments, and we certainly hope John's going to be all right. Back to Pat and John.
Everyone hopes. But that's not serious. 2nd and 7. Everett under pressure again. Intended for Henry Eller. Again, it was Haley. Eric Wright on the coverage. Haley hit Everett just as he let it go.
I think right now probably Charles Haley is the most valuable player on this 49er defense. He's the guy that plays mostly open side. He goes to the side away from the tight end. He's going to chase that run down. He is going to be the guy who puts the pressure on the quarterback, and it seems like whatever happens, he's always hanging on the guy who has the ball.
Holohan on the move, 3rd and 7. Intended again for Eller. Incomplete this time.
See Eric Wright out there. He and Ronnie Lott and Jeff Fuller are all wearing black shoes. And supposedly they did it last week, and the league office called up and said they were going to fine them. They have to wear white shoes like everyone else. And then they come down here to Anaheim, and you see Eric Wright again in his black shoes with pink stripes. Ronnie Lott has black shoes, as does Jeff Fuller.
Camarillo to punt. Taylor back deep for the 49ers. That one will stay up there a long time. Taylor has been tripped up like that 3 times. It looked like he had room to roam. There are those shoes. That's Eric Wright, number 21. Ronnie Lott next to it.
Let's watch Eric Wright here, number 21. You know, he was injured 3 years ago. He pulled a stomach muscle. But before that, he was one of the best cover guys in the league. And it looks like whatever he lost, he has it back now. That is great pass coverage. One-on-one out there, just mirroring the guy.
Montana back at quarterback. Flag on the play. You know, when they had that unit when they first came up, Eric Wright, Ronnie Lott,
prior to the snap, number 61 offense.
Dwight Hicks, and Carlton Williamson. It looked like they were going to be together forever and be outstanding together.
But remember, when they were rookies, Eric Wright and Carlton Williamson and Ronnie Lott, that was the first time the 49ers went to the Super Bowl,
right.
That game against Cincinnati.
New Orleans by 1 over Seattle. That's a big one. 1st and 15. Rathman moves in motion. Montana back to throw it. Gets the screen pass to Craig. Craig is picked up. There it is.
Now, I still don't understand why the 49ers took out Joe Montana, because we saw, you know, Steve Young came in there and really just couldn't get anything going. And now Joe Montana's coming back in again. I guess it's easy to second guess when you don't get anything going, but it didn't. When you have a 17-7 lead and you take out the quarterback, I don't know, and you've done so well in the first half, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Jerry Rice, split wide right, 2nd and 13. Passes picked off by Johnny Johnson. He is dragged down by Ron Heller. Jerry Rice was the intended receiver.
He's going to lead this ball in there to Jerry Rice, and we're going to see number 20, Johnny Johnson, as the safety. Now that ends up in a double coverage. Jerry Gray, 25, starts in with Rice. Now they have him inside out. As he starts in, Johnny Johnson, number 20, is waiting for him in the inside.
could see noticeably Jerry Rice was limping after the interception. And he really didn't make much of a cut. He's not well. He's not 100%. Over to Damone Johnson.
It looks like the Rams now are getting away from that first down run. You know, they've been going and not having much success with the run and with Greg Bell. So now they get a first down and they decide, let's go for that ball control passing thing. Try and hit the tight end. That had to be a good throw because that was against the zone and the safety and the linebacker were right there.
That was Jim Monhorst, the linebacker. He's replaced Ricky Ellison. Outside of Bell to the 20. Charles Haley. Ronnie Lott for the first two to hit it.
Yeah, that's one way to do it. If you can't get the running game going, just throw that little loop pass to your back and get him out there, and all that becomes is a long handoff. Remember, the 49ers were the masters of that years ago when they used to do it with Roger Craig.
With Roger Craig, when he was the fullback.
And that was their big play. And everyone said, well, they don't have any running game, but their running game was really that pass to Roger Craig, and that was what the Rams did.
Gaston Green has replaced Bell. He's got the ball. To about the 18, stopped by Haley and Fagan. No gain, maybe a yard.
Gaston Green was the #1 draft choice of the Rams this year, and they hope to have him as a big play running back. He only weighs 189 pounds, and he's not the type of running back that can really take a pounding. And I think John Robinson said if we can get him just to come in a little, not carry the ball 25 or 30 times, but just give us a big play.
2 minutes, 3 seconds now left to play in the third quarter. Greg Bell back. Robert Del Pino. Jeff Fuller knocked him out of bounds. They faked that counter play. Just dropped it to Del Pino.
I'll tell you, that's an interesting thing. Now, what happens? Watch, they're going to pull the guard and tackle and fake that counter play. They fake it here. Now, Del Pino here sneaks back out to this side. So watch the guard and tackle pull. The tailback go that way. And watch Del Pino. He's out here all by himself. He fooled the entire 49er defense.
It'll be first and goal, Rams, from just inside the 10.
That's what you call misdirection, when you can take your left guard, your left tackle, your tailback, send them to the right, and your fullback to the left. You've really misdirected.
Inside the 20. That's what the teams have done.
Of course, the Rams have self-destructed down here twice.
Everett asking for quiet. Bell and McGee for the two backs. Head off to Bell. Hit by Michael Carter. Picked up 1 or 2, not much more than that.
You know what they could do, Pat? They could take that play and fake it, and Everett could bootleg, and I bet he'd be untouched. You see that? He handed off to Bell, and after that, after he faked, there was no one watching him. Watch this play. Now, say they just faked this play. Now, watch Everett up there on top. There's no one there. It looks like he could have taken the ball and just zoomed it right down the sideline. They may come back with that somewhere in this game.
Second down. Buford McGee wide open. Touchdown. Jim Everett's third of the day. He had 5 against the Giants.
out for a pass. He won't throw to him. What? Touchdown.
Well, the 49ers certainly didn't pay much attention to him. Lansford for the extra point. Holohan holding. Take the lead 21-17 over Bill Walsh's 49ers.
Let's just say it. Here's Buford McGee. He is just going to come out and get out here in the flat. And I think what happens, I think the 49er defense gets caught up with these receivers and just let McGee out there all by himself. Watch, they get the motion. That brings part of the defense over. The tight end goes to the inside. Look, everyone goes to the inside. No one goes outside with McGee.
There was a penalty flag on the extra point. The 49ers were offside. Rams 6 plays, 34 yards.
You know, and it all started, I think, the Rams coming up and the 49ers going down when the 49ers decided to take Joe Montana out as quarterback. It looked like at that point the momentum just changed from the 49ers to the Rams. Now the 49ers are going to have to try and get it back. Boy, that's good sweat for a quarterback. Usually see some old nose tackle sweating like that. When you see a quarterback sweating like that, you got a good rivalry football game.
And you got a good quarterback.
Yeah, he looks a little too clean to sweat, but that's not bad. See, that's good, you know.
3 touchdown passes today. Lansford set to kick it off. Taylor and Dubose back deep.
Now there's good sweat. Herb Pankey, the tackle, and you get there in those pits all day. Tom Newberry, Smith, the center. Those guys there, I mean, that's a good old sweat. That goes all the way from the head down to the toes, that sweat.
Taylor. Grabbed inside the 15 by Michael Stewart. Flag on the play. Look at that offensive line. Well, let's see what the penalty is. But look at the Ram offensive line. They sit on the bench just as they line up on the field.
Got Doug Smith, the center, in the middle. Newberry and Love on either side. The tackles outside the guards. That's right.
Illegal block during the return. Number 84 receiving team. First down.
Illegal.
There's the center. The right guard to his right. To his right, Herb Pankey, the right tackle. And to his right, the backup tackle, in case anyone goes down. It's a good idea.
I know it, yeah. Well, they're always ready to block. I mean, if they come over to the sidelines, well, they can pick up blitzes. Anywhere they come from, they got it.
First down. Joe Montana is the quarterback, and you can't hear him. First and 10 49ers from the 12. That play looked out of sync. To Jerry Rice. For an NFL update, let's again take you back to New York and Brent Musburger.
Pat Norm Johnson set to attempt a field goal for Seattle against New Orleans. But Atkins comes in and blocks it. It's scooped up by Dave Waymer. He goes for the touchdown. And now the Saints have opened up a little daylight. It is 17-9 New Orleans. Back to Pat and John.
New Orleans Saints seem to block a lot of kicks and come up with things like that, don't they?
They're a well-coached team. Jim Mora, one of the best coaches in the league. Done an outstanding job there.
Roger Craig, the ball carrier. Doug Reed made the tackle. That's the end of the third quarter with the score, the Rams 21, the 49ers 17. We now pause for a word from your local station.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. New Right Guard Sports Stick from Gillette, antiperspirant and deodorant. Anything less would be uncivilized. And by Subaru. We built our reputation by building a better car.
call John Madden. We're at Anaheim Stadium, where the Rams have taken a 21-17 lead over the 49ers. San Francisco made one first down in the third quarter. Here's Montana. Roger Craig was the nearest 49er, but the coverage was excellent.
That was one of those things. Had Montana been sacked, then you would have called that a coverage sack. The Rams had perfect pass defense because there wasn't anyone or anything open. Montana looked left, he looked right, he looked middle, then he just had to come back to his fourth look and throw it away into the dirt.
2nd and 10. 49ers on their own 18-yard line. Pass complete to Wilson. Out of bounds. Montana took a shot. Gary Gray was the defender. There's an injured Ram on the play also. I think it might be Gary Jeter.
You know, the interesting thing, the 49ers are going for a record today of road wins. If they win today, they could tie the record. New Orleans is also going for one up in Seattle. New Orleans is ahead, and the 49ers, of course, are down 21-17.
Montana is up, but Gary Jeter is still down. 14:50 left to play in the game. 21-17 just in the opening seconds of the fourth quarter. That is Gary Jeter. He had injured a knee earlier in the year.
In fact, he had both the knee and an ankle injury.
Just to summarize what has happened, Jim Everett, the Ram quarterback, has thrown 3 touchdown passes. Total yards, the 49ers 12, only 12 in the second half. That's the story of the Ram comeback.
Jim Everett has finally matured into a real NFL quarterback. That's what Bill Walsh was saying this week, that in the past years he felt that he was in a developmental stage as an NFL quarterback, and he said this year he is an NFL quarterback.
Well, Everett himself said that to us, that he didn't really understand what was going on. Now he does. And a fakes. Has Rathman wide open. A flag on the play, however. Johnny Johnson knocked Rathman out of bounds. A gain of 17.
Montana just kicked the flag.
Push him out of bounds.
Holding against San Francisco.
Hey, Joe Montana knew what that penalty was before the referee gave the signal, because he kicked the flag. It was right at his feet.
Holding number 61 offense, still 3rd down.
That's left guard, Jesse Sapolo. You see right there, he got that left hand up there in the shoulder of Greg Meisner. Meisner's working, and then as Meisner goes into a spin, that arm that was on the left shoulder now becomes around the neck.
And brings up a 3rd and 20. It also comes in the view of the umpire. Montana up the middle. Pass is complete to Terry Greer. And how he got up, I don't understand. He was hit by Johnny Johnson. And I mean smacked.
You always talk about a receiver concentrating. I guess this is what it means. I don't think that Terry Greer knew that Johnny Johnson was there. Watch him. He's just looking at the ball, catching it, and then the next thing he knows after he gets that ball in his chest is there's Johnny Johnson in his face. He didn't even have time to look up and sneak a peek at him.
He will next time.
Well, maybe you don't want him to. Maybe that's good. Maybe you say just concentrate on the ball. And that's the definition of it.
They give to Craig around the corner. Craig out of bounds, close to midfield. Leroy Irvin knocked him out of bounds. For another NFL update, to Brent Musburger in New York.
Well, Pat and John, with John Elway on the sideline, Atlanta now has picked up the tempo. Touchdown pass from Bills to settle, and they're right back in it against the Broncos. 17-14, Denver still ahead. Back to Pat and John.
21-17 at Anaheim with 13:50 left to play. The 49ers with Montana back at quarterback have got something going.
Well, when they took them out, they sure went downhill for a while, and now they're trying to gain back what they lost.
1st and 10. Counter play to Craig. Almost tripped up by Mark Giroux, brought down by Carl Eckern.
You know, Roger Craig is one of those guys that works out in the off-season. He works out 3 times a day. He runs distances. He runs. The thing that he said he thinks helps him the most is he runs hills and inclines. And he said that's the way you can learn to lift your knees high and keep your shoulders down by running up a hill. I tried it last night walking, and I can see what he means. It does work that way.
They swing it outside to Rathman. By Eckern. But that's close to another 49er first down, a gain of 8. Anaheim Stadium, bathed in sunshine. San Francisco trailing the Rams at the moment with 13 minutes, 4 seconds remaining in the football game. Pat Summerall with John Madden. Bill Walsh. Gary Jeter's back in the game. John Robinson, the Ram coach. Rams 5-1 coming in. 49ers 4-2. Montana just dropped it to Doug DuBose outside. Vince Newsom, Mark Giroux. But a good effort by DuBose.
Well, you know, the 49ers have 4 running backs. 3 of them are from Nebraska, like we talked about before. Roger Craig, Doug DuBose, and Tom Rathman, the fullback. And they all do one thing well, and they all do it the same, you know, is finish off a run. In other words, they're going to run the ball, and then when you come to hit them, instead of just accepting the blow, crack, they're going to explode into you.
2nd down. 90 yards. This is Sidney. Harry Sidney. And he is all the way down to about the 16. Picked up 13.
Harry Sidney is a backup fullback. Now, he's from Kansas. The only running back on this team not from Nebraska. Watch your blocking up there. There's Randy Cross. He fires in. He gets some movement going. Guy McIntyre coming across, picks up the linebacker, and McIntyre's block was the one that gave that soft spot and that hole for Harry Sidney.
Timeout, Rams. They have a 4-point lead at the moment with 12:27 left to play. This drive, San Francisco 10 plays, 77 yards, consumed almost 3 minutes. First and 10 49ers at the Ram 16. Craig, and Craig is going to score his 3rd touchdown of the day. What a remarkable runner he is.
You know what he does? He makes all defenses look like they're bad tacklers. Remember, we did the Giant game where we said the Giants' defense isn't a good tackling defense today. The Ram defense is not a good tackling defense today, but Roger Craig makes your defense not a good tackling defense.
His career high. They'll enjoy that dinner.
You know, last night he was so excited. He said, this game playing the Rams down here is like the Super Bowl. Yeah, I didn't know it was that bad. He believed that.
This point is good. Well, watch it again.
Well, you know, the thing that he can do is what he keeps his shoulders squared going upfield. He keeps his knees high. He keeps his feet going. He never stops the feet. The feet never get planted. So you never have anything stationary to tackle. Those feet are always going in and out of the ground. The knees are going up and down, and the shoulders are down. Now, that's an amazing combination. demonstration of what you can do with a body.
He looks like he's running hurdle race right there.
He even kicks out of blocks when, kicks out of tackles when there's no tackler. You know, the amazing thing about it, the thing that impresses me is this guy is full of life and spirit, and even the day before the game or 2 days before the game, I mean, he gets excited about this game. It's not one of those things where, well, I'm an old pro, it's just another game. Maloney, I think every time he plays a game, it's the biggest day in his life.
Hofer to kick it off. And over and above all that ability and what he's accomplished, he's a heck of a nice guy. Earl White on the right back. White outside the 20. Knocked out of bounds by Harry Sidney, who just made a very important run. Next Sunday here on CBS begins at 12:30 Eastern Time with the NFL Today. Dallas goes to Philadelphia. Giants travel to Atlanta. Minnesota goes to Tampa. Detroit against Kansas City. And then Washington against Green Bay at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Next Sunday here on CBS. Ram first down at their own 22. In the running back. Ellard makes the catch. Gets Fuller wrapped all over him. But Everett got it in there. Picked up 11 and a Ram first down.
It was funny, the players on both teams this week were saying that these teams are so evenly matched this year that they could see the game going right down to the 4th quarter, maybe right down to the last 2 minutes, and they were very prophetic. In fact, I could see an overtime.
Holohan had it and dropped it.
Keenan Turner was right there on him. Hey, Holohan, everyone says, probably has the best hands of anyone on this Ram team. In fact, maybe he has the best hands of anyone in the NFL. I remember John Robinson said his hands are just like Fred Biletnikoff. And then the minute you talk about hands being like Fred Biletnikoff, the ball goes right through him.
Oh, he made that same mistake you always talk about. He let the ball get to his body.
That's right. If you have those good hands, the hands working together, you got to get them out in front of the body.
On second down, Everett back to throw. Gets it outside to Bell. He's hit by Ronnie Lott, knocked out of bounds.
The one thing that the Rams have to know now, and I'm sure that John Robinson knows that, Ernie Zampese, who was up in the press box calling the plays, knows that you're only 3 points down and you have plenty of time. And there's no reason to rush anything, to push anything, to force anything. Just let those things happen naturally. Just move the ball methodically as you normally would.
Ernie Zampese, 3rd and 9. Here comes the blitz. Dangerous. Eric Wright. Aaron Cox was the intended receiver. Wright was the defender.
Just the minute you say you don't have to force anything, you have plenty of time, they try and force something. It's hard to throw the ball straight up the field against a zone defense. And you see that Eric Wright was just back there watching Everett throw and ready to jump on that pass.
I could see a real collision about to develop right there. Camarillo's punt to Taylor. So the clock will stop with 11 minutes and 12 seconds left to play. 40-yard punt and a 4-yard return. 21. Very warm in Los Angeles. In Anaheim, I should say. Dressed wisely. (24-21). San Francisco's second half possession, lost 2. That was with Montana. Then he went out. He had to punt twice. Then he came back, threw an interception. Then he drove him 93 yards for a touchdown.
Hey, Roger Craig has been such a big part of that offense. He's already gained 167 yards.
Montana chased out of the pocket. Gets it to Rathman. Rathman lunged forward for an extra 2 or 3. Fred Strickland. A gain of 5, they say. Fred Strickland made the stop. He was one of the many players involved in the deal that sent Eric Dickerson to Indianapolis. Actually, they got him in the draft.
Well, and then they got Greg Bell, and then they got all those draft choices, and they still have some stuff to come. I think that trade is something you have to look at a couple years from now and analyze who the Rams got and what those players are doing.
Craig, not enough for the first down. Brett Ferniez and Fred Strickland. He's had a busy day.
Well, I'll tell you, when you run that much and you are that busy, you're going to get some hits. 63 hits running, 16 blocking, and then receiving, he only had 3. So you add up all those hits, the number of times that Roger Craig was hit today, that's a full day's work.
3rd and 3. Montana with an audible, I'm sure. Puts Rice in motion. Gets it to Rice. That'll be enough for a first down. Rice didn't do anything but sort of jog around and find an open spot. Montana looked at him from the very beginning.
You know, one of the things, Pat, one of the reasons to keep a guy in like Jerry Rice, you know, especially if you can't hurt yourself worse. I mean, if a guy can get hurt worse, you don't want to play him. But the Rams have a defense predicated on stopping or playing Jerry Rice. So by keeping him in there, you make the Rams keep doing those things they were going to do, and he's a pretty strong decoy, if nothing else.
34 Circus. Montana. For another NFL update, let's take you back to New York once more and Brent Musburger.
That here's one of those warm moments for a backup quarterback. Gary Kubiak gets Sewell out of the backfield, isolated on the linebacker, and here it is. Touchdown, Denver. 68 yards, 27-14. Broncos in command. Back to Pat and John.
24-21. 49ers had the lead now with 8:46 left to play. Second down on their own 40-yard line. Rathman straight ahead. Stopped after a gain of 2. Fred Strickland again.
You know, in that 49er offensive line, Harris Barton has done an outstanding job today in pass protection. You know, he's been playing against most of the day against Kevin Green. And here he is blocking here on the defensive end. That's against Doug Reed there. But Kevin Green was the leading sacker, is the leading sacker in the NFL. And Harris Barton has basically had the job of pass protecting against Green. And we haven't heard Green's name much today.
Maybe once. Third down. Here comes a Ram blitz. Montana reads it. And so do the Rams. Read what he was going to do. Brett Strickland and Vince Newsom will pick up a 3, but the 49ers will have to give it up. beating Seattle 40-12. Harry Helton back to kick for the 49ers. And Henry Ellard. Another kick off the side of the foot and out of bounds.
Barry Helton has had a tough time. Remember, he was the draft choice from Colorado. Remember, we had him in the preseason, and Bill Walsh was upset with him. They went and played in England, and he shanked one right into the sideline and right at Bill Walsh. He shanked one in a practice once and knocked a trainer out. Bill Walsh sent him back home to Colorado to work with his dad and his college coach. He came back. He kept him. And I'll tell you, that even on a hot day, that'll make a head coach more hot.
Oh, boy.
What's the pun and shanks going on?
Everett, no place to go except the bell. Pass complete, but almost no gain. Stopped by Fuller.
Yeah, it's funny how this is such a big game, and both teams were so excited early, and now they get in the fourth quarter, and I get the feeling both teams have slowed down a little. That if someone can rise up here and get above this thing, they're going to win the game here. Because it looks that you know, and maybe it's hot down there. I'm sure it is hot down there, and it's tough. But this game and these players have really slowed up in these four quarters.
Pass is intercepted by Ronnie Lott, his second of the day. He just took it away.
That's why Ronnie Lott is back there. That's why Ronnie Lott is all pro all the time. Not only is he a hard hitter, a good tackler, a tough guy, but as we said before, he just has a good feeling. Look, he just sits there in the middle. He sits there. He's watching Everett all the way. Everett just, boom, throws it in there. Lott gets a jump on it and intercepts it.
It was intended for Henry Ellard.
You see, Lott is just sitting in there waiting. And Jim Everett didn't see Ronnie Lott. He's looking at Ellard. Lott was the inside guy. Crap, he picks it off. That could be the play that wins the game for the 49ers.
Fourth turnover by the Rams.
On that play, Eddie DeBartolo, the owner of the 49ers, will probably pay Ronnie Lott's fine for wearing black shoes in this game.
Here's Craig, and he's around the corner. And a 49er first down. Larry Jones.
I think this is the type of thing we were talking about, that someone had to rise above it, and whoever did is going to win this game. I think Ronnie Lott did. And then Roger Craig comes in and gets another big run. Now, look, I mean, that is a warrior who has been through a battle. You look at him, I mean, the neck, blood going down the arm. They're working on him there. 21 rushes, 179 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Doug Dubose has taken his place. You better be in shape on a day like this. Here's Dubose. Down to the Ram 31. Doug Reed made the stop for Los Angeles.
In fact, Mark Giroux, the linebacker of the Rams, is out of the game with a heat problem.
Dehydration.
That does take it out of you, because you're not only out there running in this hot weather, but you're carrying all those pads. And you ever notice in that helmet, it gets hotter and hotter inside there? I'll bet you inside a helmet is probably like 125 degrees.
On a day like this, I'm sure it is. Second and 8. Montana pulls up. And intended for Brent Jones. Out there with him was Vince Newsom. Kevin Green is the man who put the pressure on Montana that time. Roger Craig again. All that work that he talks about doing in the offseason that he was telling us about, and then training camp, have certainly paid off for him today.
Not only that, but this is when it pays off. You know, you get teams and they get excited. You come out of the tunnel, you're all excited. You can play in the first quarter. But it's in that fourth quarter where it really tells.
There goes Mark Giroux. Dehydrated Mark Giroux. Rathbun in motion. Hand off to Vogt. To about the 30. Carl Eckern and Sean Miller. Brings up fourth down.
We'll bring up a field goal here. We're
47 yards.
47-yard field goal.
Mike Kofer.
That would mean that if the 49ers can make this, then the Rams can't tie him with a field goal, but they could still beat him with a touchdown.
No good. Wide right. It was far enough. That's Ron Heller. They're out of tight ends anyway. With Mike Frank. Being hurt. John Frank. With a broken hand.
You know, and the other thing the 49ers were going to do today was use a lot of free wide receivers, not use a tight end at all. And, of course, with Jerry Rice being hurt, then John Taylor had to play more, so they kind of took themselves out of that position. So it's been a tough day offensively for the 49ers in trying to do some of the things they wanted to. But Roger Craig has done such a big job, it doesn't make any difference.
Everett chased by Haley. Gets it out to Charles White. He is really... Jeff Fuller really put a hit on.
Haley's going to be the outside guy here, Pat, and he's going to come on a stunt. He's going to be outside, and then he comes inside. You see him go there? Now, as he comes inside, he gets a free shot straight up the middle, and Everett just gets the ball off.
They got a yard. 2nd and 9 at their own 31. 3:15 left to play. Everett straight back. Outside intended for Delfino. Incomplete. Stops the clock at 3:10.
I say the Rams defense has done well. The 49ers had that one long drive, but in the second half, they've done pretty well. And then they get the ball back for the offense, and the offense just can't get anything going.
They put Holohan and Willie Anderson in the game. Everett caught from behind, fumble. The Rams got it back. Duval Love now, they say the 49ers got it back.
Now, I think the guy just pointed the wrong way because the Rams did get it. Duval Love jumped on the ball. I think the official just got turned around, Pat, because you see the fumble here. Now watch 67. Duval Love is going to jump on the ball and come up with it. So it was a Rams ball, and the official just got spun around. But the Rams are still going to have to punt.
It was Daniel Stubbs who put the rush on. The rookie from Miami. Good kick by Camarillo. Taylor all the way back to his own 18-yard line. Drops out of bounds from there. The 49ers will take over. 2:18 remaining. 26. San Francisco by 3. 24-21.
John Robinson's face is getting as red as that guy we just saw sitting there in the stands that's painted. Hey, this is a highly competitive game. They just their defense is playing well. They're getting the ball back for them, and then their offense gets it and turns it over. It can't get anything going, and they got this sparring thing going back and forth. The 49ers are able to kind of keep things going. They had that one long drive at 93 yards, and of course, Roger Craig has been the difference in this game.
Word on Roger Craig is that other than being tired, he has a slight concussion. He probably won't be back. Does Dubose, however. Tripped up finally by Johnny Johnson. We'll probably get the 2-minute warning before they run another play. 9-yard gain for Dubose. What a day he's had, and what a couple of runs he's made. And he's coming back in the game. Rams have 2 timeouts remaining. Craig replaces Dubose.
Again, if the 49ers win today, they're going to tie the record for all-time consecutive wins on the road. They just do a great job when they travel. I mean, it's something, there's a skill to that. And this is a team that has that skill down.
Jeff Stover strained a knee and departs on crutches. I guess if you're looking for secrets, other than Ronnie Lott's 2 interceptions, the 49ers have run the ball 229 yards, and the Rams have managed to get only 42.
And that's that record we're talking about. If the 49ers again win here, then that gives them 11 consecutive wins on the road. And as you say, 229 yards rushing, and the biggest part of that is Roger Craig. And you can go, and if everything else were equal, he's the guy that wins the game. He's the guy that makes the difference.
Anaheim Stadium, Anaheim, California. Pat Summerall here with John Madden. The score is San Francisco 24, the Rams 21. 2 minutes remaining. Summarize the game. Roger Craig has 191 total yards today, has scored 3 times. San Francisco has outrushed the Rams 229 to 42. You certainly wouldn't think that. Jim Everett of the Rams has thrown 3 touchdown passes. This telecast is intended, presented by the authority of the National Football League, is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Los Angeles Rams and the National Football League is prohibited. 2nd and 2 for the 49ers. Rams have 2 timeouts left. Roger Craig. First down and more. Leroy Irvin. Johnny Johnson. 12 yards for Craig.
Yep, I think I would, Pat. I think if I had to start a team, I think I'd take Roger Craig to start it with.
Based on today, timeout Rams. Part 2 is Monday. Rathman over the left side for a couple of yards, maybe a little bit more. Larry Kelm. Rams have 1 timeout left now. 1.5 minutes plus remaining. Roger Craig looks like he feels fine.
Well, he may still have one more chance to get a first down because the Rams still have 1 timeout to use, and the 49ers are going to try and make them take it now. If they don't, then the Rams should still get the ball back when they do use that timeout, if they can stop them on this 2nd down and 3rd down.
2nd and 7. Dubose. Stopped by Alvin Wright right at midfield.
And now the Rams use their final timeout, so the 49ers will have 1 more down to get a first down. And if they don't get it on this 3rd down, they're going to have to kick.
59 seconds remain. 49ers beating the Rams, who just ran out of timeout with 59 seconds left to play. And he tested Verdi had someday, didn't he? 469 yards passing.
The Bear defense is up to it again.
Yeah.
Donuts work in Green Bay.
Miami and San Diego in the fourth. New Orleans still beating Seattle. Rathman goes straight ahead. Alvin Wright again makes the stop. Pickup of 2.
Now the 49ers are still going to have to punt here. So the Rams are going to get the ball back. The 49ers can run 30 seconds off that clock.
Which they're going to do.
The referee is stopping the clock right now. I think they want to set it because they want to make sure when the ball was blown dead. Because, of course, the Rams can't do anything about it because they don't have any more timeouts. So they're going to figure out the 49ers won't snap the ball until they use up the time. The referee, Jerry Seaman, is trying to decide how much time should be up there. If there's 37, then, of course, they can run 30 off down, just leave 7 up there.
Well, there's 37 at one end, John, and 39 at the other end.
And I think there should be more than that if they're going to let them run 30 off. See, because you don't know. They stopped it now. You don't know how much run off before they stopped it.
Coming up next, 60 minutes, except on the West Coast. I'm still not sure what this is about.
Well, I think he wants to know how much time ran off the clock.
The 45-second clock was never properly started. Consequently, reset the stadium clock to 52, reset the 45-second clock to 45.
And now you wonder how much time they're going to let them run off. So I guess they have 52. And they let them run 45 off, and that would be 7 seconds. See, here's the last play with the clock in there. Okay, now it's when the whistle blows is when they should start the 45. So the whistle blew before 52, so they should have started at 54, I would say.
(24-21), and John Robinson is asking the team to come over to the side, and he's going to tell them what he wants to do. If they do punt it, they got to put the heat on, don't they?
I would think so. That's probably what he's telling him. He has 10 men over there around him, and I'm sure that he's calling for a punt block. And I would think in this situation, when the ball's at midfield, that you should bring all 10. Just let them go. And then the game, instead of having to go down to one Hail Mary pass, the game could maybe be on this punt. And you got a rookie punter. You know, we're talking about Barry Helton in their punt. You know, he's not the steadiest of guys either.
No, he isn't.
So maybe you put 10 guys up there and let the floodgates open on them.
They got it off. Ellard takes it. And the game's over. The clock ran out. So the 49ers, led by Roger Craig, defeat the Rams 24-21.